me
And
the
they're
bad
bad
for
for
your
the ego.
ears.
Hello, music world. Welcome back. This is season 3 of Mad Mix. It's been a little while since we've had a chance to chat, and we missed you. Have you missed us? Well, we're back. We are in a brand new year. I know it's February, but can we wish y'all Happy New Year? This year's been a lot.
I think so.
Yes. January, now we're finishing out February, a beautiful week as we wait, as so many things are falling in and out of place. I'm sure the collective feels the energy of this week. As well as the 28th with the planetary alignments, where we have 7 planets that are going to be aligning in the sky. So you remember on January 25th, we had 6 planets that were aligned. And that day I got fired from work. So shit happens. But everything falls apart so that you can build something even better in its place. It's a challenge, to you. So many of people in the collective, I'm sure, have had certain, things falling out of place. Or if you might find that if you've kept yourself in alignment, certain things have just been flowing to you in just miraculous ways. I've noticed that even in this past couple weeks or even week, changing my outlook on, the challenges that I faced, seeing the things that I felt like were done against me as an opportunity to get to a better place in my life has really given me a more empowered energy. And this alignment and this planetary alignment that's coming on the 28th is all about, see, basically, if you are not in alignment in the way that you live your life, you will get fucked up. And there's just not a nicer way of saying it. So just want to, start out with that. Just let you know the energy of the week has been so supported towards everything that's coming anew in March.
Yes.
March is a beautiful month. It's the Pisces season. It's the end of the astrological year, the end of the year. And y'all know April, that's the real new year. That's when things get rebirth, new things come as a start of Aries season, the youngest zodiac sign, bring about fresh ideas, and ultimately will
New
launch you
beginnings,
into the year you're gonna have. So take the rest of this month, take March especially, to really nurture that spring energy and the newer things that are being born. And ultimately that will lead you to the life that you want. You have to build this shit brick by brick.
Yeah, absolutely. I could definitely feel that energy of just a new start, fresh start, repurposing, rebuilding yourself and getting rid of things that just no longer work for you. And whether that be a job, whether that be a relationship, whether that be a habit that you know you need to change, this time is perfect to put the attention of working on those things, getting rid of toxic things that you know you should no longer have around you. And so, yes, tower moments are gonna be happening only because to build new, you have to start on a solid, fresh, and a great foundation that promotes your ultimate and highest life and alignment and vibration.
Before we jump into the video, can we get into the skin? Can we get into
Oh,
the glow? Shout out to Aorae. It's a brand baby of this beautiful young sister that I met when I was in New Orleans. And she makes body oils, face products, I know she's face washes, and I just, not sponsored or anything, but if
just
you see this
love.
glow,
Yeah, I put a little bit of something on
yes,
too.
just know that it is her fault. And I will tag it so you can tell her directly how offended you are by how we're glowing so beautifully. And before we get into the video as well, my name is Mary. This is my sister, Tiara, and we are Mad Mix. Follow us on our social media if you're into that kind of thing.
Yes.
We talk about a range of topics, all the way from spirituality, collective consciousness, hot topics, but with just our own little spin to it. And today we're just going to be talking about the collective energy, the post-election blues, or some people feeling energized and ready and excited to see how they could take advantage of the energy. And some people are just ready to bury their head in the sand like an ostrich, not knowing that your whole ass is still showing. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about. And without further ado, let's jump right in. The start of Hollywood, even the institution behind, the music industry and entertainment, it was all about control. It was all about how do we use media to control the masses and to kind of control the narrative around what we want the messaging to be around this country. What we found with our last election and people overwhelmingly voting for a more conservative party, even in states that were historically maybe Democratic, and even seeing how the whole election and how the Democrats were just basically just kind of sabotaging themselves and embarrassing themselves, and not really reading the room. By the end of last year, we noticed a lot of movements that push towards more conservative ideology. The rise of like the trad wife, the 4B movement of women reclaiming their power back and refusing to have sex with men that, that can do anything for them.
Respect their body.
And yeah, granted that movement came out of Korea, but it's still something that we as Americans kind of like championed as that. Women saying, I'm closing my legs. I'm done. I'm getting out these dating apps. People are getting more into with their spirituality or even religion. People are saying, I'm going to pray more. I'm going to go to church more. And, that was the tone that the country was on.
Mm-hmm.
So to have a campaign that still tried to treat, Black people or even minorities or people that try to like draw in everybody that's not a white cishet man, like basically they did not read the room.
Yeah.
The campaign, even up to the end, we saw Kamala next to like a Glorilla or Megan Thee Stallion, and nothing wrong with that. Like I love me Glorilla, I love me Megan. That's not the point. But there's a time and a place, and shaking ass on a campaign trail or in a campaign that is going to affect people's lives and livelihoods, it just left a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, read the room. And also, they were so dependent on Hollywood, which always champions voting for Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
And people just are not impressed by celebrities anymore. If anything, the most people that get attention are the modern celebrities, influencers, small-time creators, podcasters. Those are the people that are catching our attention. The kind of people that, Trump went to like the Joe Rogan podcast, like that. So it is strategic.
It was a power
but
move.
Also it just shows that they were more in tune with what the collective was saying and feeling. And a lot of people have been checked out. We've been checked out for many, many years, since 2020, since
Mm-hmm.
COVID.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are just not interested in participating in the charades of politics. Like, and same here, Yeah. I'm not the type of person, I'm not afraid to say I don't vote. I don't. I feel like my energy and my efforts are spent in way more different ways than being emotionally involved in the modern politics of the United States, where everything has a double meaning. Everything, these parties are more alike than different than you think. It's an illusion of separation. And that's part of what we're going to touch on today, is the illusion. But first, it is that fall of celebrity culture.
Absolutely.
And we don't idolize people anymore because we see from Jeffrey Epstein to Diddy to even just being able to have access to these celebrities and really being like, y'all are not that impressive as we thought you were.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to just blindly follow because we're like impressed, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a time where celebrities were everything, Like, I remember when Beyonce came out, whenever Obama was, and when he got
presidential campaign.
Yeah, when he won. And this time around, it was almost as if like um that had no effect on the collective. We want to really see change, right? Like, us funding these celebrities that honestly we really don't know. We don't know how they're tied, right? We don't know what they really truly, think and believe. And so, as the fall of like major and huge celebrities this past couple of years has really, like, I think, made people's trust in the celebrities completely diminish.
Right.
And this campaign definitely showed that. And the lack of the Democrats not understanding who they were trying to appease was definitely disrespectful. And it did kind of leave me thinking like, wow, is this was this intentional, or is this something that they're just basically trying to see if people will fall for? And people are getting smarter every day. We are waking up and realizing our power and being very careful with where we give our attention. And so that's definitely changing a lot of things, like how we vote, and who we worship or glorify, or who we put on pedestal. And I feel like that is going to keep happening. And this year, if not, more celebrities, stepping off of their pedestal, and we're going to be seeing and realizing who they truly are. And that's going to affect us in tremendous ways. And it's going to also force us to really, you know, really see who is for you, who to support, who is, the person that's leading you to your better version of yourself, or who's just there to distract you. A lot of these celebrities are placed in these platforms on purpose, and it's completely to distract us and to not ask questions and to just be blindly following these celebrities.
Absolutely. And I think we're all more than ever trying to take accountability, and we're trying to see where we can control, because we realize everything from the earth, the air that we breathe, to the water that we drink, to the fruits and vegetables that we consume, to the media that's going into our ears. Everything is poisoning us one way or another. Mm-hmm. And we're not going to take it down laying down. We are fighting against what can we do? Mm-hmm. Even, a lot of people are, really honing in on just that, basically going back to the basics. You see, hey, Barnes and Nobles is failing because people are returning back to their mom and pop bookstores.
Right.
Starbucks is failing because people prefer to go to to your local cafe where the barista kind of knows your name. Mm-hmm. And people want to be seen.
And you want to be seen.
They want to be understood. Community. Yeah. And at the end of the day, we're all so much more similar than we are different.
Absolutely.
We all just want to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, when you ask somebody, what do you want to be in this world? It's
love and be loved.
To be happy, to support my family. And it's like, when we realize that we have more in common than we have differences, and I have more in common with a person of lower economic status across the world than my neighbor across the street who has a mansion. Mm-hmm. Like, it just shows you that, like, wow, like what happens? What power gets released, and what frequency are we raising when we collectively come together and decide not to destroy each other. Mm-hmm. And not have this idea of separation.
Absolutely.
And I think that's another part of it that they're trying to, especially in America. America thrives on separation.
Absolutely.
It thrives on the black and white divide. It thrives on minorities fighting each other for crumbs instead of going for the whole bread.
Right.
So it thrives on that energy. And so as we are more waking up, mm-hmm. and realizing, no, you may not find community in people that look like you. You have to find community in people that think like you.
Yes.
So that means finding people that are in the same wave and have the same goals as you. And when you look and and understanding that just because whatever you pay attention to, what that's saying, energy flows, or energy goes where attention flows, right, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Is knowing that you create the reality that you see for yourself. If all you see is pain, heartbreak, and despair, that's all
you're going to experience.
That's all you're going to reflect back to yourself. It's like we live in a mirror world. And your thoughts every day shape your reality. Mm-hmm. So I live in a reality where I'm a winner. I live in a reality where I do get to control what goes in my body, mm-hmm. and what I get to drink, and to the best of my abilities. And ultimately, I'm putting out the frequency of, love and collectiveness. Yeah. And that's more important to me than being like, oh, we are really different. We are different than you. I am different than you. Like, I am a Black woman. Yeah. You are not. Yeah. I am this and you are not. Yeah. We're all just, this body is just an avatar. It's not even, it's just what we chose to come here. Like, when you look at people's souls, when you look at like what we want, like, you are all like mostly the same. Yeah. So yeah.
At least that's been my experience. And even with the whole new agenda, like, they're not like us. And, I love artistry and I love Kendrick, but there's also a an agenda that these people have to follow, right? Because they are influencers. So their job, first and foremost, is to influence the collective. And so the whole, performance that I witnessed for the Super Bowl was a whole idea of causing separation. Unity is really what is going to win, because that is conquered, that is founded on love, and unity is, it makes everyone can equally benefit from unity. Separation is going to keep you being the victim to everything. And it just,
Us versus them.
It's the us versus them, is the have and the have nots. And it's that polarity, which yes, Earth has that and it gives you that polarity, but you have to think outside of yourself, right? It's time now to have an individual thought, to live in your authentic version of yourself. And so every day when I encounter people, I encounter love. I see people, every skin tone, every creed, and every color, and all of what they want and all of what they think is really very similar to me. So why should I walk around the world and walk around in my reality thinking, oh, she's white, so she has it better than me, and I'm a black woman, so I have
to
a
work
chip
10
on
times
my
as hard.
I have a chip on my shoulders, when that's honestly not been my experience. So that wouldn't make me live in my authenticity.
Right.
And so that will lead me to be depressed and to feel defeated and powerless and give my power away. And so that's exactly what their agenda is, because they can benefit off of that, right? You see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
So just going back to just thinking outside of yourself. And like my sister said, we really are not even this form, right? This is just a vehicle for us to live and have this beautiful 3D experience. But ultimately, we know that it's beyond just this physical form. We all know that, and we're all waking up to that. And this year is just going to keep teaching us that. You're gonna go around the world and try to figure out, and you're gonna come back to you, because that is all that matters, and that is all that you have to discover. And that's it. It's you. You have to learn you, love you, and through you, the world will be seen through your lens. And everyone has their truth. Everyone has their perspective. It's just different angles, right? Different angles that we see life through. And so I definitely feel that collectively.
Yeah.
And they're going to keep, using artists like Kendrick. They're going to keep using other artists that we're so, in love with and really appreciate, to subconsciously program that separation mindset. But just know that, just know, and really just listen to your heart and your intuition and what life really is forcing you to be and to become. Right?
Yeah. I think the main thing that I really, really want people to know is that when you go looking for shit, you will find it. We know that, whether it's, a great example was, I remember, Cash Doll. I believe it was Cash Doll. And there's lots of other dark skinned, celebrities that said this, even maybe like Flo Milli and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They've came out and said, hey, they'll be in an interview and they'll be like, oh, what's your experience as a dark skinned black woman? And they're like, my experience has been chill. Like, I'm good. I've never felt like my skin got in the way of my opportunities. I never felt like I had to be something outside of myself to succeed. And then after that interview, they'll come back and say, I've had several experiences of colorism after that talk.
Right.
I have now I felt like what I said I didn't, simply because they invited that into their experience. Like, damn, am I supposed to feel like some type of being dark skinned?
Mm-hmm.
Does the world want to make me a victim? And when you start thinking that way, it's called like, what do you call it? A self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes.
Basically, of thinking I'm not better than people. I'm not better than this. And that being, your brain is automatically going to be like, oh, that's the script we're going with. Okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
It just writes instead. So you have to actively, cleanse your mind of any kind of talk that has been made to control you, to keep you small, to keep you feeling like you're lacking in this world, because we are so abundant. Like, the frequency of this earth is rising by the day. We are waking up. We are releasing bad habits. People are drinking less. People are like, there's so many habits that, like, people are reawakening. Spirituality has had a vigor it's never had, or, you know, that I haven't seen in my lifetime. And, you know, and so it's like, so more than ever, people are just trying to get answers, not from the news, not from social media, but within. And lots of people are realizing that we are we are waking up from the matrix. And part of that does require you to go within and not focus on the things that are not bringing you joy. If the feeling does not feel good, change your brain, change your thoughts.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be overwhelmed by all the negativity of the world at the same time. We're not built for that kind of weight. You know, our ancestors knew what was going on in their home. They knew what was going on down the street.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't know what was going on halfway across the world.
No.
And all around the states. We get bombarded with so much negativity.
That has nothing to
So
do
much.
with us.
That's not our business, honestly. So it's like, you have to focus on your own reality. And you can't feel guilty about that.
And the responsibility of honestly knowing who we are. And when we say that, I mean, as the power that we have, we are all our God and goddesses. And I know that might sound like a stretch to some, especially if you've been programmed in religion, but that is the part of the power that you have, and you create what you want in life. So
Even
whether
if
that
you're
be
religion, you have to believe in free will, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So you create what you want to experience, and that should show you, if you focus on something, it's going to be fulfilled. That prophecy will be will come on fruition, because you have that power. You know, we all have that God force within us, right? And so that's one thing that, you know, I see a lot of people going back to their religion aspect of things because they do want answers.
Yeah.
But the answer is not an external thing. You know, we don't have an external savior. You know, there's that complex that comes with that. It's not outside that we can find what love and what God needs to us. It's already within us, you know? Yeah. And so we have to really realize that. And I get that. I get how hard that can be, especially if you surround yourself with people that are not like-minded and that think other things. It might just force you to just kind of appease them, right? And be likable. And not only that, just who has energy to like argue all the time or try to make yourself, you know, be heard. So that's where, you know, us changing our environment and the people and what we view, all of that, and all of that, change that to where it fits you and it promotes you to be empowered. And so that's the ultimate truth, that we are God and goddesses. So that's why people say, I'm a goddess, I'm the goddess so and so, right? I'm a god, I'm a king. That's exactly what they mean, that they have power and authority to create their reality.
And you know, maybe you're not ready to claim goddesshood just yet.
Yeah,
but just take it one step at a time, you know?
Mm.
Just start by giving a shit about yourself and knowing that you have value, that you matter. Then once you see that and you grow in that self-love, then you're like, wow, I'm that bitch. And then you're like, I'm like a queen. And then you're like, I'm like a goddess. Like, it's a natural progression as you come into your own power. Because you are a co-creator in this world. You are a creator. You know, if you want something for your life, you have to build it. Like I said, brick by brick. Nothing just poofs, comes out of nowhere. Ideas, thoughts, and the people that we love, even the people that we hate. You don't have to even like somebody, but if you understand, any person that has success in this world did it because they believed in themselves and because they put in the work. Everything requires work. And if you're not there today, this is not an overnight process. And even us, we're learning every day, season after season. We're not the same Mad Mix from 2 years ago when we first started this. We've expanded. Our brains have just gone beyond so many things.
Oh, yeah.
And even our physical realities, our ability to manifest the life that we want. We've seen the changes and the growth, even just within a few years. And this is a lifetime of work.
Yes.
And especially if you've been indoctrinated in religion or even in self-doubt and negativity, you're going to have to scrub that. You're going to have to tear apart the foundation and build yourself a new home. And that's going to require work. And that does not mean that people around you have to agree with you. It might just be you. And that's it. It might be you and your cat.
That's okay.
That's it. You might be maybe you and a friend. That's amazing. If it is. If it's not, that's okay. I can be your friend. We can be there for you. This is like a lot of the reason why we are the way we are is the spiritual community. Even us going to a fest recently in Atlanta. It was called God Fest.
Stonecrest.
It was in Stonecrest. It was in Atlanta.
Georgia.
Whatever. You know how they say, but it was so we went all the way to Georgia from Texas to attend a God Fest, which brought together the like-minded people of the spiritual YouTube community. And the people that we watched for years or, seen around, took an inspiration from, like Billy Carson, Aaron Lyon, Q Reeves.
Yes.
So many people.
Yes.
Red Pill, Blue Pill.
Oh my goodness. KT the
Archer. Like,
there's so many beautiful,
the fairies.
I mean,
the goddesses, the queens.
Crazy.
People selling their products. But just to be in that space of collective energy and people being around people that were like us, we all literally transcended.
Yeah.
We all literally jumped into a brand new timeline. We are not in the same timeline as we were before. And the Aaron Lyon put this in the most beautiful, she just explains everything like in a way that just lands.
Shout out to Aaron Lyon.
So she says, often when you're jumping from one experience to another, the space in between is going to feel like lack. So I was, wondering like, why do I feel like everything is falling apart from me? Because I'm jumping from one reality to another. And to do that, you have to let go of things. You have to let go of baggage that no longer serves you. And show up as your most authentic self. Like, we don't have to be here with locks and freaking crystals all down the necks and waist beads. Those things are amazing. They're cool. We're no shade to anybody that loves that. But there's not one way of showing up in a spiritual way. I show up in this way. I feel there's a reason why I show up in the way I do, and I'm gonna touch people that maybe I couldn't if I did show up here with locks and, the crystals. Maybe you clicked on this video because you thought we'll give some hair tips. Or maybe, you really do want to know
that's the case, sorry.
Where you got this body oil.
Right.
And we love that too.
And those things are fun. Those things are what makes life fun and adventurous.
We come to this world for that. We came to explore, to experiment. I've been different things in my lifetime. I've been different races in other lives. So this is just me coming back to different versions of myself. And maybe next year that will look completely different.
Yeah.
But it's not about I have to be a certain way to be consistent and to show other people. But no, it's about being authentic to yourself. And that's so important now, to be unique. We live in an era of aesthetics. We live in an era of trends, of everybody doing one thing and then doing another thing.
Right.
And nobody really having something that they can hold on to. It's not their own idea.
Right.
They're just following. Be a leader. Please. Be yourself.
Yeah.
If you're getting called to do that kind of work, know that you're on the right path.
Absolutely.
And this path is going to lead you to freedom. There's no way around it. There's no substance in the world that's going to give you the freedom that you feel when you are just authentic and just happy and just content. We just love that you can only get from source. Love that you can only get from within. And that takes a lot of work. It does. But it's so worth it. So worth it.
Yes, it is. And so we trust that that message found you well, that you had, some points that you completely related to and others were just new topics for you. Whatever it is, express yourself in our comment section. We will love to hear what you're going through, what you think about this whole crumbling of celebrities, which I'm like so happy about. Because
long time coming.
I meet beautiful people in real life and they're not acknowledged, but they're so beautiful in their own way and change so many lives. And those are my real celebrities. And so, just jot down. Let's start a chat of what you guys think and chime in a conversation in the comment section. And if it is something else, if you have another idea or ideology that you think right now, please share it. There's no such thing as negative comments. We appreciate every single interaction. And, but yeah, nevertheless,
thank you for checking us out today.
Absolutely.
Once again, this is season 3 of That Mix. You're going to be seeing a little bit more of us.
You are?
Now that we're back, as you see, we go into our cocoon and we come back out and go in and go out and go in and go out. But hey, we only do it when we feel called to do it.
Yes.
And that's the beauty of it, right? It's a calling. But also consistency is a beautiful thing. So we want to keep showing up on this platform and, hold us accountable. We will be like, hey, y'all haven't posted in 2 months.
Right.
Yeah, but we're going to do better. And this YouTube channel is important to us. So we're going to vow to do it just a little bit better. And that's all we can do. But without further ado, Texas is already getting hot, baby. We are melting.
Woo!
I am melting. So, thank you for checking us out.
Yeah.
Once again, this is
Mad
Mix.
Mix.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.